Hey there and welcome back to XCOM. My name is Pete and today we complete the first mission of the series that is exclusive to XCOM Enemy Within, or more specifically to the Operation Progeny storyline. Before we jump into that mission, however, I have two quick announcements to make. The first one refers to another achievement that I forgot to mention, because in this scene right here from episode 6, you can see a Seeker apply its stranglehold on Rosilius. On our turn then, Adam kills the Seeker with his shotgun and as a result breaks the strangle. And that unlocks the Taking a Load Off achievement, which we can now check off as being completed. In the last episode then, I announced another small giveaway, and I'm happy to announce that user SuperNick97 was randomly selected as the winner. So congratulations, you have won a copy of XCOM Enemy Unknown including the Slingshot Pack DLC, and in order to claim your prize, please get in touch with me. You can send me a message on Facebook or Twitter, or simply send me an email to pete@petecomplete.com. By the time this video goes up, I will be on holiday for a few days though, so please be patient, it might take 2 or 3 days for me to respond. And with all of that out of the way, I think it's finally time to jump into today's episode. We have the first mission of Operation Progeny waiting for us, but before we get going, we can buy ourselves a second laser pistol. In the last episode, we only had enough alloys for 1 rifle and 1 pistol, but after successfully completing another UFO mission, we have a bit more now, so let's obtain 1 more laser pistol for Assault Adam work. He won't use it quite as often as Sniper Rosilius, but especially for medium-range overwatches, it could come in handy. Our mission itself then is of a slightly different nature this time, as we're not dealing with any alien abductions or UFO sightings, but rather with an attack on a French military convoy. And not only that, the attackers were apparently also human, even though we have reports of aliens in the area as well.
We are confident that you will handle this matter with discretion.
In conclusion, the whole thing seems fairly mysterious at the moment, so let's send our usual squad of 4 soldiers over to France to investigate.
There's been widespread speculation about this ambush on a French military convoy, but we don't have much to go on. Our primary concern is the Council Intel report indicating alien activity in the area. We need to secure the site and look for some clue as to what happened here. We have a new objective.
Now, full disclosure, this mission is not as random as many of the other missions in this game. The types and numbers of our enemies are fixed, for example, and the map is also always the exact same. And as far as I know, enemies will also always spawn in roughly the same places. Now, of course, I have completed this mission numerous times at this point, however, it has also been a while since I've last played it. Nonetheless, I will not hide the fact that I know a few things that you would not know going into this blindly. Still, I will try not to spoil anything, and again, I'm also not 100% certain of all the little details, so I will proceed with a bit of caution at least. The absence of any melt containers also makes this mission ideal for a rather slow approach, and even though our current objective is to locate survivors, I am moderately confident that we will run into aliens first. Now, to get us started, we'll actually dash up onto the rooftop with Rosilius here. This not only gives him the high ground, but also puts him in a nice position to use the battle scanner next turn. If there were any enemies in the room below, he would have detected them running past, so we can safely dash in there with Adam and hide behind the door. Heavy Andrea Cook, meanwhile, will not go into the building. We might need one of her rockets soon, and having her stay outside generally gives her a bit more flexibility in that regard. Amelia, on the other hand, will make her way inside as well, and get into position next to the big garage door. Nothing happens on the alien's turn, but we can already see the vague outlines of a building close to the one that we currently occupy, so let's move Rosilius a bit closer and then throw a battle scanner down there to see if any hostiles are present. Alright, this reveals not 1 but 2 groups of Thin Man, and because it's only the battle scanner, they do not react at all to being detected. The group on the right has taken up position on the rooftop and therefore has the high ground now, and that might make them a bit more dangerous than the one below. Luckily, we have Andrea and the rocket launcher standing by, so let's begin things with an explosion and get rid of the first group here.
Suck on this.
Despite a rocket impacting just a few meters next to them, the other 2 Thin Men remain entirely unimpressed, and with them not leaving their position, we can take a bit more time to prepare our ambush. Assault Adam Work can join Amelia at the gate and both of them can go on overwatch, even though there is of course nothing to detect as long as the gate is closed. On the next turn we can then move Rosilius even closer, but will not establish a line of sight between him and the aliens just yet. Instead, we can wait until Heavy Andrea Cook has taken up position next to the other door leading outside, while Adam and Amelia remain right where they are. And now we have everyone in position. The battle scanner has expired, but of course we still know where both of the Thin Men are, so let's open the gate and reveal ourselves.
Enemy in sight.
The enemies do the smart thing and dash into opposite directions, but they don't go on overwatch, and that makes it very easy for us to establish flanking positions. And Amelia is up first and can now engage the Thin Man on the left side. Her shot hits, but unfortunately it's not a critical and not enough to kill, but this is where Rosilius can come into play from the rooftop. The high ground gives him a nice aim bonus, and he also only needs to deal one single point of damage, so with a 91% chance to hit, let's take the shot. Alright, that's the kill, time to take care of enemy number 2. And for this we use the tried and tested run and gun with our Assault Adam Work, who can now get up close and personal and then use his rapid fire ability to potentially take 2 shots at the Thin Man. Luckily though, 1 is enough and we would have had an emergency grenade on Andrea as well, but it seems like we can save that for later. Speaking of Andrea, she can now move up and go into Overwatch as we await the alien's turn. Nothing happens though, so let's take a position on the rooftop again, and this time we'll use Amelia to scout ahead.
On the move.
The roof seems clear though, so let's dash over there with Rosilius now. There is really no need for him to spend any time on the ground in this mission. Everyone else can go on Overwatch or reload their weapon, as we're now getting ready for the next turn.
Back in.
And you might start to notice a pattern here. Once again, no aliens reveal themselves, so let's see if we can't find them anyway. We move Rosilius into full cover and then we use the second and final battle scanner he has. And we have 2 choices here. We could either throw it over to the back of the building or over to the right to the remains of the convoy. And let's be thorough and do that first, otherwise we might end up with aliens shooting us in the back.
Sensors still indicate life signs in the area, Commander. Objectives updated.
Alright, we have found not only a survivor but also another nest of Thin Man. However, this time it's only a single group of 2. Before we activate them, we will move everyone a bit closer, so Amelia can move up on the rooftop, while Adam and Andrea get into position behind the door down below. Unsurprisingly, the aliens once again don't do anything, so let's kick things off by revealing Mr. Wargal on the rooftop. Once again, the Thin Man split up, and once again we'll take care of one of them by using Adam's run and gun ability. That will get him close enough to the one hiding next to the tank, and 2 shots with rapid fire should be enough to get the kill. And once again, he only needs 1, so we can now take care of enemy number 2. Now, what we could do here is we could send Amelia into a flanking position. However, if there is another group of aliens hiding over to her left, we might activate that one, and as you can imagine, I would like to avoid that. So instead, we'll play it safe and use a grenade with Andrea to set fire to the truck, which will force the Thin Man to move on the next turn, otherwise it will die in the explosion. And when it moves, we will of course be ready and waiting, with overwatches from Amelia and Rosilius. Surprisingly though, the Thin Man decides to take aim and misses, and that seals its fate.
Commander, looks like there's still someone alive over there. If we can bring them in for questioning, maybe we can figure out what happened here.
Heavy Andrea Cook is awarded the kill, and she's also the one kicking off the next turn, as we now move her up onto the rooftop as well. Adam meanwhile remains the only one on the ground, and he's now sneaking from truck to truck. If he doesn't uncover any more aliens, he will at least be close to the survivor this way. We then move Rosilius to the center of the rooftop and activate Overwatch, but once again we don't see anything moving. On the next turn, we can then take a peek around the corner with Adam, but he also doesn't see anyone apart from the lone survivor. So let's activate one more round of Overwatches on top of the roof, as we now get ready to take a look down the other side on the next turn. And once again, it's Rosilius who reveals this fourth and for now final group of Thin Men, and also once again, upon detection, they immediately take cover. However, at this point it now pays off that we have Adam waiting to come in from the side, because with one more run and gun he can now get into a dangerous position where he can flank both enemies. Before we pull the trigger with him though, let's see what the rest of the squad can do. They all get aim bonuses from the height advantage, and we'll start with Amelia, who has an 80% hit chance against the Thin Man closest to her. 5 points of damage are once again not enough to get the kill, at least not right away that is, but Rosilius also has a guaranteed hit from above and can now finish the job. That only leaves one enemy, and Adam can once again use rapid fire here, and this time the ability actually pays off, because it does indeed require a second shot to eventually take the Thin Man out. Over the next 2 turns we then reload everyone and regroup our squad at the top of the roof, and then we finally use Adam to approach the survivor.
Roger, tracking. You might as well leave me here. I have nothing to say to you people.
It looks like he's the only witness to survive this fight, and for all we know he was one of the aggressors. We need to bring him in, whether he likes it or not. Objective updated.
He does not seem to be overly cooperative, but we still need to evacuate him regardless, and as you have probably guessed already, our way back will not be a walk in the park. So let's activate another round of overwatches on the rooftop and then see what happens.
Commander, we're picking up new contacts moving into the AO.
Alright, 2 more Thin Men have dropped down, one right on top of Amelia, and we actually got pretty lucky there, because thanks to our overwatches the Thin Man gets killed immediately, and because she's carrying the medikits, Amelia is the only one in our squad immune to the poison. Thin Man number 2 is then an excellent target for squad side sniper Rosilius Wargal, and will use his headshot ability here for a guaranteed critical hit. Alright, the first group of enemies is down, and the mechanics here are the same as they were in our first target escort mission in episode 4 of the series. As long as we don't move the survivor, no new enemies will drop in, and needless to say, we can use that mechanic to our advantage. For now, the survivor will stay right where he is and keep his head down, while we get everyone on top of the roof and reload their weapons, and then eventually activate another line of overwatches on the other side of the building.
This is only the beginning. It's only a matter of...
And with everyone in position, we can now make our move. Let's see if any new aliens drop in. That's not the case, but I actually like where everyone is at the moment, so we'll stay right where we are with our soldiers and then move the survivor a bit closer.
You're nothing but a bunch of puppets.
Heads up out there. We've got hostiles on the move.
And despite dropping down right in front of our squad with no cover whatsoever, the Thin Man survives 4 reaction shots. Needless to say though, with only 1 hit point it won't last much longer. Rosilius gets himself another kill and we won't take any risks here, so we'll stay put, reload everyone and wait for the next turn.
Reloaded. Good to go.
As expected, we have no new enemies coming in, so it's time to advance the front line. As you may have noticed by now, Thin Men really like to drop in elevated positions, so by moving onto the next rooftop ourselves, we'll try to take that advantage away from them. This costs the entire squad a dash action, so we can't overwatch on this turn, which means the survivor will not move and stay behind, at least for the moment.
This is a waste of time.
On the next turn then we can improve our positions on the rooftop a bit and then set the trap again, and with everyone overwatching, the survivor can also inch a bit closer, but not too much, that might trigger too many enemies at once.
Strike 1. We've got hostile contacts moving on your position.
Still, even a few squares are enough for a sectoid and 2 Thin Men to appear, and one of them actually dropped in behind us, so at this point we can probably not lag behind with the survivor too much. Apart from one successful hit from Rosilius, by the way, all other overwatches went wide this turn, but luckily we only have 2 enemies in our immediate vicinity that need to be taken out. The sectoid is easily dealt with as Rosilius simply fires again, while the Thin Man is a job for Adam. His lightning reflexes ensure that the overwatch is no harm to us, while a 90% hit chance on rapid fire is probably enough to guarantee the kill. And indeed, here we are, all enemies on this rooftop are taken out, but with one more Thin Man coming in from the back, the pressure is on. So despite not having everyone in our squad on Overwatch, we'll have to get the survivor into safety now, so he joins the squad on the rooftop while Andrea and Amelia keep their eyes open.
Looks like the aliens are sending in reinforcements, Commander.
Shot wide.
And no surprise here, another batch of enemies has dropped in, 3 more Thin Men have joined the party, and with only 2 reaction shots we were unable to do any damage. Luckily, number 4 on our heels has not shown up yet, so at least on this turn we can focus on these 3. And we'll start things off with Andrea and another rocket. This time it's a shredder rocket though, not enough to kill the enemies, but it does 4 points of damage and also removes their cover. Now, because the Thin Man on the rooftop here has gone on Overwatch, we'll move with Adam first, even though for some reason the Overwatch is not even triggered, so his lightning reflexes don't come into play. This now leaves Rosilius and Amelia, who can both get into very comfortable firing positions from above. However, at least with Rosilius, we now have to hope that he does enough damage. And indeed he does. That's another Thin Man down. Number 3 should now no longer be a problem. Lovely, that's almost all enemies on this map taken care of. Judging from their position, I'm pretty sure this was the last drop, so let's get the survivor a bit closer to the drop zone, and ideally also out of any potential line of fire of the pursuing Thin Man. That pursuing Thin Man, by the way, has to be taken out before we can complete this mission. Simply evacuating the survivor will not suffice. So let's assemble the old Overwatch crew again, while the survivor simply stays put. We could have also moved him to the evac zone at this point. All in all though, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. With our front line of Overwatches established, it then doesn't take long for the Thin Man to appear, and this time our strategy does not fail. Not all reaction shots find their target, but those that do ensure we get the kill. And with that we have only one thing left to do, and that is to get the survivor out of here.
You're still not getting anything from me.
Excellent work, Commander. Our friend here might be uncooperative at the moment, but I have a feeling a talk with Dr. Valen will change his tune.
Alright, mission completed. We killed a new record, 17 aliens on this one, and the still somewhat mysterious survivor also got away safely.
An exemplary performance. Let's hope all of these operations go as smoothly as this one did.
Back in the base we have promotions waiting for everyone, so let's start up top with support Amelia Solberg. The abilities we can choose from are first Revive, which allows her to not only stabilize but actually bring back critically wounded soldiers so that they can continue to participate in the fight. Number 2 is Suppression, very similar to an ability we already skipped with Andrea, as it allows Amelia to pin down a target, impose a big aim penalty, and to trigger reaction fire if the enemy moves. It does cost quite a bit of ammo though, and Overwatch is sometimes even better suited for the task, so we will instead continue to make Amelia our healer of choice and go with the Revive ability. I hope we'll never have to use it, but if we do, we'll be very thankful that we have it. Up next then, it's time for Sniper Rosilius Wargal. His first ability would be the Executioner, which gives him a +10 aim bonus against targets with less than half their health. The other one is Opportunist, which eliminates the aim penalty on reaction shots. And in my opinion, this is a fairly easy choice considering how we've built up Rosilius so far. Opportunist works very nicely together with Squad Side, while the uses for Executioner are a bit more limited in my opinion, so we'll go with Opportunist here simply because it doesn't have as many restrictions. That brings us to Assault Adam Work, who can now choose between Close Combat Specialist and Bring Him On. Close Combat Specialist grants automatic reaction shots at all enemies that come close to Adam, and that is even if he is not on Overwatch. Meanwhile, Bring Him On gives him 1 extra point of damage on critical hits for each enemy that he can see, so having Adam in the middle of a group of enemies makes his critical hits even more dangerous. Still, for it to be useful, it also requires him to get right up in the middle of things, and we haven't really built him up for that. So we'll go with Close Combat Specialist instead. I think it's a bit more of a defensive power, and as such it fits in a bit better with Adam's other abilities. Finally then, we have our heavy Andrea Cook. She has 2 very useful abilities to choose from, Grenadier and Danger Zone. Grenadier gives her 1 extra grenade and also has all grenades do 1 point of extra damage, while Danger Zone increases the blast radius of all of her rockets. Again, I like both of these a lot, but let's go with Grenadier. We haven't unlocked Suppression with her and would therefore only receive half of Danger Zone's bonus. Meanwhile, with a few other upgrades, Grenadier can become incredibly powerful, and it might also allow us to leave grenades off of other squad members. And that's it, all of our soldiers are promoted. We can now have a look at our loot, but we did not obtain anything unusual. As our reward for completing this mission, we now obtain 1 scientist and 1 engineer, as well as a very nice cash bonus of 150 credits.
Remember, we will be watching.
We have medals available in the barracks, Commander, if you feel any soldiers merit an award.
Alright, here we are, mission behind us, and the construction of the officer training school is only just 2 days away, but I think we'll make the cut right here regardless. In the next episode, we'll then focus a bit more on the tactical game inside of the base. We'll buy a few things, we'll do some research, and we might construct another facility or 2. But for today, after a lengthy council mission, I think we can wrap things up. Once again, SuperNick97, please contact me regarding the giveaway. And to everyone else, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and if you did, then I would be happy if you could leave a thumbs up. And if you want to support me and my channel further, then you can of course subscribe if you haven't already. Alternatively, you can check out and maybe pledge to the Pete Complete Patreon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.